There seems to be one other problem. And that's a person I know called Tina. I don't know if any of you know Tina. You might have a friend called Tina. There is no alternative. There's nothing we can do. Well, I'll tell you what, we have to start telling the Tinas of this world and the Daves, or whoever else they are, telling us there's nothing we can do about it, the Gordons and all the rest. I think we have to turn out these people and say, where has that ever got us in the past? Where has it ever got us in the past to say there's nothing we can do? You see, don't you think when Spartacus decided to have a slave uprising, I bet there was some Tina the slave or Dave the slave, oh, you know what, there's been slavery for hundreds of years. We're never ever going to change it. We've just got to go in the gladiator ring, chop each other to pieces, serve our masters and get on with it. Of course, there was an alternative when they rose up and they showed there was. I went to Atlanta 2 years ago to a museum dedicated to Martin Luther King. There's a letter where Martin Luther King is called a letter to Birmingham, where the elders of Birmingham say to him, you can't fight Martin, we'll never win. And he writes this wonderful eulogy to struggle. And we have to come around and say, we can only guarantee one thing. If you don't fight, you will never win. If you roll over, they will kick you like a dog. They'll roll you over and they'll beat you till you die. What we can't guarantee victory, but we do know this. If we fight, we have a chance of victory. If we have a fight, we have a chance of wiping the smiles off their ugly mushes, and that is why we fight. It's better to fight and die than just die. Always better to fight and die. You don't have to lose. You don't have to lose in the London Olympics. It wasn't true that Margaret Thatcher beat the miners. What beat the miners was a lack of solidarity. What beat the dockers was a lack of solidarity. And we have to make sure when our next group of people stand up to fight, whether they're the unemployed, whether they're workers, whether they're pensioners, whether they're students, that they are not defeated because they are left alone to fight, and therefore unity is our strength. The last thing is why we have to be socialists. We're not just for fighting and against the fascists, against the Tories, against those who want to compromise. We are also socialists. And I'll tell you what being a socialist means for me, more than anything else. It's about holding on to your principles and some kind of integrity. Because the first thing is to say, we never, ever make compromises to racists. Never. We don't go around like some people do saying the way Labour lost the elections because it didn't make enough case about too much about migrant workers. We never pander to racists. We are part of an international tradition of the socialist workers' movement, which starts from the basic premise. We have more in common with a Chinese worker, a Mexican worker, a worker from Germany, a worker from Sierra Leone, than we do with any of David Cameron and the Great Oswald, the Queen, or anything like that. We have more in common with all of those people, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with them. They are not the problem. The real problem in this society are those who want to divide us, and we have to make sure we do not allow scapegoating at all. Secondly, it's a more worrying development. I noticed it in some of the debates at Marxism. One of the meetings I went to about reformism, a young person stood up and said, why don't we get into Parliament, sneak in and get elected and change things? I went to another meeting, but arguing again today, why don't we get guns and arm ourselves and shoot Cameron? It sounds good. It sounds good. I'll tell you what, if I thought that would change anything, I'll tell you what, I'll be off this platform, quicker than you can do, and I'll be down 10 down the street. I don't believe it will work. In the fascist meeting I did yesterday, so I said, why don't we get squads of big tough people to go and beat them up? I'll tell you, in the SWP we don't believe in the big man of theory of issue, that other people will do it for us. Never believe other people will do your fighting for you. We don't believe it's about the great individual. We don't believe it's just someone in Parliament can change things for us, that a bullet will change things for us, or just a big tough man beating a Nazi over the head will do it. We believe in the potential of all working class and the poor to resist. We don't believe we're victims. We don't believe we're the passive victims of history. We believe we can be the ones that can create and shape history, and therefore we rely on our own strength, and that is a harder job. That is a harder job than just going off and doing it. It sounds much easier. Working amongst working class people, challenging racism, arguing a way to win strikes, arguing a way to save your local hospital. It's harder than just thinking you can go and do it yourself. But we start from the great tradition of socialism from below and not socialism from above. We believe in our class, our power, our people. Always believe in your people. Never be ashamed of our class. Never. we have a different vision of the world. You see, right now it seems to be there is a massive ideological debate out there. And I mean, much of it is going our way. I do meetings in colleges, in schools, in trade unions, and there is a thirst for Marxist, socialist ideas, and I think it's absolutely right that we try and encourage workers to see them, raise their sights and try and understand the world that they're in. We relate to students who want to debate ideas and philosophy and socialism and everything, and I think we have to see ourselves as doing this. But I'll tell you something else, you see. What I think's been great about Marxism is often, you know, as a socialist, you get told that really all you care about is the economic and political struggle. Well, yes we do, because actually that's the real motor of change. But don't you think this might event something else? That as socialists, we've got something to say about everything. About the poor in Africa, about art, about culture, about religion, about working class, about feudalism, about ancient society. We have a debate, argument and question everything. And that's a great tradition. Because I'll tell you what really scares me and what makes me a socialist. I sometimes do meetings in schools. And when you go meet with young kids at school, 8 or 9, you say, what do you want to be? And they say all kinds of things. Say things, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be the greatest football player in the world. And I then go and do meetings with kids of 17 and 18. And you say to them, what do you want to be? And they say, I don't care. Don't know. Got no idea. One kid I even asked once, I want to be a bank robber like my dad. What it means is, this system of capitalism sucks the living juice out of our people. It brings them up, chews them up, and spits them right out. And our vision of society is to throw away the idea that human beings are worthless and talk about our contribution to create a world equal for every single person. A place where everyone is free to be who they really are, free from fear and persecution. To fight that everybody has a free meal. And that's not a lot to ask. That's the least we should be asking for ourselves. And therefore, when you join the SWP, you're not just fighting to join an organisation that fights, that has debates. You're joining an organisation that has a different vision of the world that we live in, and we want you to share that vision with us. And now my last sentence is this. There are many people in this room here today who have been around the left for a long time, maybe been in our organisation for a bit and moved away. There are some of you who've never ever come across SWP before until you come to this event. And I have a simple message for you today, which is join us. Join us. And why? Really simple. We are going into battle now. We are going into battle. The outcome of that battle is not guaranteed. The outcome of that battle is not guaranteed, not at all. But we all know that the more socialists there are, and the less teamers there are, the better off we're going to be. And we know that wherever there's a socialist, there's a potential for the fight back, for resistance. And if it isn't time now to join, when will it ever be time? They're coming for us. They are coming for us. They're coming for you. They're coming for your wives, your lovers, your mothers, your fathers, your daughters, your children, your grandfathers. They're coming for you. And the only response in that situation is to come back and fight them. So join us today, and thank you for coming to Marxism.